אשת חיים נמצא, ורחוק מבני מיכה, בטח בלב בעלה, ושאלה לא יחסר, ושאלה לא יחסר, פתח בלב בעלה, ושאלה לא יחסר, ושאלה לא יחסר. אשת חיים נמצא, ורחוק מפניני מיכה, בטח בלב בעלה, ושאלה לא יחסר, ושאלה לא יחסר. מלאתו טוב ולא רע כל ימי חייה, כל ימי חייה, דרשה צמר, צמר ופשתים, ותעש בחפץ כפיה. אשת חיים נמצא, ורחוק מפניני מיכה, בטח בלב בעלה, ושאלה לא יחסר, ושאלה לא יחסר, בטח בלב בעלה, ושאלה לא יחסר, ושאלה לא יחסר. מלאתו טוב ולא רע כל ימי חייה, כל ימי חייה, דרשה צמר, צמר ופשתים, ותעש בחפץ כפיה. מלאתו טוב ולא רע כל ימי חייה, כל ימי חייה.
In terms of your support of Leora, and this of course is a lien upon your estate that is of a number 1 grade, and if necessary can be collected from the shirt from off your back, okay? If necessary, hopefully it will not come to that. However, you will pick up this symbol of consideration. Now what could be more relevant, okay? It brings us back to those heady days of year 1 and contract and what is consideration and what is not. This is going to be your consideration for everything that you're undertaking to do. So I'm going to ask you to take this from me, lift it up and say in a language that's most understandable to you, which I assume is English, that you undertake upon yourself all of the obligations subject to this ketubah. So please do that now.
Undertake all of the obligations subject to this ketubah.
Thank you. We now have a kinyan. We have a kinyan, and we now will sign the ketubah. I would like the witnesses Danny Mond and David Horowitz to come up, please, and sign. Or either of you kohanim, leviim, anything like that?
I almost have a doctorate.
You don't even have any money.
All but.
Well, I did
All but. Who is older? Danny, you're on.
Very funny.
I'm very serious. Now you sign the way you're called up to the Torah. Okay?
Okay.
When it says Nu'um, so-and-so aid, and you fill in this area between the Nu'un and the aid, and don't leave me any large blanks, please. Stay and do not leave. You're next. Same thing, sign here as you would sign as you called up to the Torah, and fill up the area.
There should be, it's better to be together now.
Fine. Good.
You know, it's very good.
Now, don't leave. I want you, Michael, to sign the way that you're called up to the Torah, this area there.
Just back from last Shabbos when you got it,
You remember them, mate?
Remember the name.
And now we're going to do this again on a copy of the Klad pen and the Ktubah.
I'm married?
No, you've only undertaken for this
That's the beginning.
silk scarf a fairly substantial obligation, but that's life. Now, let's have the same thing, please. This copy of the Ktubah will go to the rabbinate, and it'll be...
You should just rub his hand.
Now,
Don't leave that.
You guys have been I'll just wait here.
Hanging around for a week. They're very interesting, by the way.
Yeah, she took us to sometimes you don't want to remember. Oh, yes. I didn't go shopping. I could just see like, oh my god, this is my round time. But I said she was a really it really suits you. You've never been here yesterday, just enjoy having a time. We're happy. We've been there. We've done
How are you feeling? Okay? It'll be wonderful. Okay? The traditional blessing to the Kala at the Badekin Zachotenu Atayil Alfei Revava. Michael, would you please do what you need to do with the veil? We'll meet under the chuppah. Okay, we now will take the Hatan with his shushbinin down to the chuppah. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, berachnuchem mi beit Adonai. Mi adir al hakol, mi baruch al hakol, mi gadol al hakol, hu yivarech et hechatan v'et hakala. This is the traditional blessing to the chatan and the kala. I'd like to add a few words. This chatana is taking place on the eve of the 10th of Tevet, but you needn't worry. There's ample halachic precedent for having a wedding the night before the fast. The names of Rabbi Moshe Feinstein and Shibadei L'Chaim Tovim Harav Eliashiv are associated with the heter to have a wedding at this time. It may even be appropriate because we are shortly going to have the Khatan break a glass. We do so in memory of the destruction of the temple and as a symbol of the fact that in the Jewish tradition, no joy is ever complete without taking into account our history and our national heritage, which is tinged with sorrow. Joy tinged with a certain amount of sorrow. And I think that it is very appropriate to have that at the back of one's mind when celebrating an occasion such as this. And I think that that's probably both on the individual level and on the national level, and that is how it ought to be. The run is cited by the Rashash in Tractate Nedarim 63 as saying that the night before a fast of the types that you can start in the morning, it's an old Talmudic custom to have a large feast, a Suda. So by inviting us to a wedding tonight, you will have achieved two mitzvot. One, you will have enabled us to rejoice with the Chatan and Kala, which is a wonderful mitzvah. And number two, we can also fulfill the old custom of eating well before a fast. Both of these are important and to your credit. I'd like to mention the Parashat HaShavua. You are at a juncture of two parshiot. One is Vayigash and one is Vayechi. What does Vayigash mean? And he drew near. And what does Vayechi mean? And he lived. In order to live properly in order to live fully, completely and joyously, there has to be a drawing near. That drawing near isn't always easy. When Yehuda drew near to Yosef, he had to expose himself. There was a great need to draw near, to communicate. But it isn't always easy. Bear in mind that every relationship starts with a courageous act of drawing close. The extent of the pleasure and joy derived from the life after that drawing together has taken place is something which is so great and so marvelous and is for you two to explore together. Remember always Vayigash and Vayechi. It will no doubt be a wonderful and a rewarding experience because it has already started and you only have a taste of it. And one more word from the parasha. Yosef comes back from the land of Canaan to Egypt. Says, Vayiru achei Yosef. The brothers of Joseph saw that something had changed and they became scared. What did they see? The rabbis like dealing with the meanings of specific words and deriving significance from them. So they want to know what the brothers saw. It wasn't merely that he noted a change in their behavior. What did he see? Midrash Agur says, they saw Joseph looking in the very pit in which he had been thrown before he had been transplanted to Egypt. Why did Joseph do that? To fulfill a Jewish halachic obligation, to make a blessing at the place where a miracle had occurred. A general miracle of having survived, but as you know, the rabbis say that in that pit there was no water, but there were snakes and scorpions, and Joseph survived. He was blessing over a miracle, a religious act of the highest order. But the brothers saw it and didn't understand, and they felt bad and said, now Joseph will take revenge on us. Midrash Agur cites the verse in relation to the 2.5 tribes in the book of Bamidbar, that when they would have fulfilled their oath to go and fight for the land with the rest of their brethren, they could go back to their area on the other side of the Jordan. V'yitem nikiyim me'Hashem u'me'adam. You will have acquitted yourselves in the eyes of both God and your fellow person. And Joseph had forgotten that by looking down in that pit, he might have brought back those feelings of guilt and have caused his brothers great distress, which he didn't want to do. What did he do? He went and he spoke to them. He said, Atachat Elokim Anochi, am I instead of God? And he drew them close again. I'd like to give you as my blessing the wisdom to be able to deal with the situations that so often come up when people do things because they have the best possible reasons, but somebody else in the relationship doesn't quite get it, interprets it differently, looks at it differently. The wisdom to act as Joseph did in Parashat Vayechi, to know how to keep the life going by being able to understand, to draw back, and then to open up communication and to say, it's all right, this is why I did it. This blessing of that special wisdom I give to you, Michael and Leora, on this occasion, the very propitious occasion of your Chatuna. Mazal Tov. We'll now begin with Birchot HaErusin. You will have the kavanah. You will have the kavanah for each of these brachot. Then you will pass the wine to Michael, and then you will pass the wine to Leora. Birchot HaErusin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al harayot, v'asar lanu et harusot, v'hitir lanu et hanusuot lanu al yidei chuppah v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shema Yisrael al yidei chuppah v'kiddushin. We are now ready for the actual Kiddushin. To do that, we need 2 witnesses, please. The Eidei HaKiddushin, those who are going to witness the act of Kiddushin. Now stand here where you can get a very good view, because you have to be able to see everything that is going to pass between the Chatan and the Kala. Take it there are no impairments in vision or in hearing.
Getting a bit old, you know.
Good. The next thing we need is a ring. Chatan, do you have a ring? Take the ring. Hold it up. Now, would you please show this ring to your witnesses? Witnesses, you must express an opinion as to whether this ring, the value of it, corresponds to what is known in Jewish law as a shaveh pruta.
Just makes it.
Yes? Yes. We have witnesses. We have a ring. We can proceed to the Kiddushin. Leora, would you please put out the correct hand, one finger next to the thumb. Before you slip the ring on, Michael, nicely and loudly, would you please say the formula of Kiddushin? Will you please watch as loudly as you can?
Harei at mekudeshet li b'tabad zo kedat Moshe v'Yisrael.
Stick the ring on her finger. A day HaKiddushin, did you witness the Kiddushin of Leora? By Michael. Mukudeshet, Mukudeshet, Mukudeshet. We are now going to break the glass in memory of the destruction of the temple, and we'll sing Imeshkachech Yerushalayim. We break the glass first. Your right foot forward, please. Imeshkachech Yerushalayim Tishta Yemini Imeshkachech Yerushalayim Tishta We mark the division between Birchot HaErusin and Birchot Nisuin with the reading of the Ketubah.
David Eisenthal.
David Eisenthal is called up to read the Ketubah.
בשישי בשבס 10 ימים לחודש טבת שנת 50,754 לבריאת עולם למינין שאנו מונים פה בעיר הקודש ירושלים תיבנה ותיכונם. ענן סעדי איך החסון הנ"ל מר מיכאל יונסון ברב ראובן ז"ל למשפחת הייבן עמל להדה בסולטה שפירטה יאלס חן מרס ליאורה תחיה ברס רב פרד שמחה הלוי ז"ל לבייס אייזנטל הביא לאינטו קדס משה וישראל ואנה במימרו בסייעתא דשמיא אפלח ועוקב ואיזון והפרנס ואכלכל והסובב ואחסי יסיחי ליחי כהלכות גובין יהודאים דפולחין ומוקים וזונים ומפרנסים ומכלכלים וסובים ומכסים נשיהם בקושטה. was rab Fred Simcha besultet da, והבס לי לאינטו. ודין הדוניה דהן נסלי בין בכסף, בין בזר, בין בתכשיטים, במאני דלבושה, במשמושי דירה, בשימושי דארסה, במאה זוקקים כסף צורף. וצפי החוסן הנ"ל, ואוסיף לה מדילי, עוד סך 100 זוקקים כסף צורף, אחרים כנגדם. סך הכל 200 זוקקים כסף צורף. לבד טוב בגדר תכשיטיה וחפציה השייכים לגופו. וככה החוסן הנ"ל מיכאל יונסון רב ראובן חוסן דנן. יהון אחראים וערבים לפרוע מן הון שטק סובסדה נדון ידיין וספתדה ואפילו מגלים עדה כספי בחיי ובשר חיי מן יום הדננה ולעולם. ואחרייס וחומש שטק סובסדה ונדון ידיין ותוספתדה קיבל עליו החוסן הנ"ל מר מיכאל יונסון ברב ראובן חוסן דנן ככל מקור שטריק סובוס תוספתוס דנהגין בנס ישראל העושים כתיקן חז"ל דלוק אסמך דלוק תופסי דשטרי בביטל וכולו בפיסל וכולו בקניונה מן החוסן הנ"ל מר מיכאל יונסון ברב ראובן למשפחת הייבן חוסן דנן למרס ליאורה בס רב פרד שמחה לבייס אייזנטל בסולטה דה הקומה דכסיב ומפורש לאל במונה דקושה למקניונה בי והכל שרי וברי וקיים נאום דניאל רפאל בן הרב בנימין עד נאום דוד בן גודל עד גם אני החוסן מודה על כל הנ"ל ובזה על החוסים יום הנ"ל מיכאל יונסון בן ראובן.
Will you give the Ketubah to Leora? His Ketubah is to be with you at all times.
I'd just like to say that we've waited a long time. About 20 years. So Mazal Tov. Rachel. Just Mazal Tov to
You invite us to your wedding. Thank you for disturbing me in the middle of my meal just to look at a stupid video. I mean, I was in the middle of eating. Thank you very much. Thank you, carry on.
I don't think. Mazal Tov. Thank you very much. Go back to thank you.
Hello. Mazal tov. Goodbye.
Mazal Tov. Mazal Tov. Sorry.
Politics, sorry.
Why are you still here? The parashat of the Shavua Vayechi is also a bridge to next week's parasha, which is Shemot. Shemot means names. So Michael, Leora, you should go ahead and then when you get to it, start thinking of Shemot, names. L'chaim. Post office box in Rahov Para. Not telling anyone else. I used to enjoy weddings until this bloody video man turned up.
At long last, Hayden, at long last. Mazal Tov, both of you.
Now, Michael, we really forgot something very important.
Mick and Leo, Mazal Tov.
We're gonna play for you right now. Okay, Michael. 1, 2, 3.
Dum dum da 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 dum dum da dum da 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 da. He's from Melbourne.
Mazel tov.
Right now, boy.
Mazel tov.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mashiach. Ladies and gentlemen, your next course has been served.
On your head if you were at the cross.
And it's good to see I came all the way just for the wedding.
The lovely couple, Mazal Tov.
It's always now he's got
Years and years to go to Breakfast Shopping Centre.
Like the bread.
So this is the time when we get to say all the thousand things about you,
Like the bread. Like the chicken in...
מזל טוב.
מזל טוב. מזל טוב. על 120. You got me on film? Michael Lachaim, thank you for inviting me.
Many years of happiness.
We never thought we'd see the day, but we're very glad. Hey, Michael, you're...
From Daniel, Michael. He's here in spirit.
מזל טוב, מזל טוב.
Just waiting for your dress to split, but we're sure it won't. All that practicing. We're trying our best to dance. We're trying our best. Over here, please. Over here. We're taking away control. We love you very much. And we really
Pleasure to be here.
She's drunk.
Come back.
Alle jüdische Kinder gesund.
Dad?
Hi, Leora, Michael. Mazel tov. You're Michael, Mazel tov. Very nice to be here. Mazel tov.
I'm here this evening. We want to welcome everyone from Jerusalem, of course, and all our good friends from London. But I want to welcome especially those who've travelled so far to be here today. David and Rivka, Michael's brother and sister-in-law from Australia, together with Uncle Sam and Auntie Millie. They're very special people, Uncle Sam and Auntie Millie. A very special welcome too to Enid's sister Susan from New York. And here's hi to Susanna, my own daughter from Newport, Rhode Island. I don't think any of Michael's friends believed that he'd actually get married. It took someone like Leora to make it all happen, I think. It hasn't been too long since I myself was welcomed into the Eisenthal family. Michael, I can positively recommend them. Especially Leora. She's the only person I've ever met in my whole life who consistently laughs at every one of my jokes. Right from the beginning. I tried today to do a bit of English style gematria on the names of the bride and groom. I didn't have a lot of success. I found the words, I charm Leo. I found the words, oh hail la creme. I didn't do much better with Haven and Eisenthal. I got, heal this, Ivan, which would have been very, very good if he'd been a Russian doctor. But what I did in the end was I took the names Michael and Leora, and I multiplied them by the number of months they've known each other, 15.3. I put this all over Susan's zip code in New York City, and the whole thing came out to a number. Now this number, divided by 73, equals the word Mazel Tov. Everybody, enjoy yourself this evening. I think everyone's made a very, very good start. I want you to carry on in this fashion from now on. Now, I want very much to introduce Leora's mother, Enid, who'd like to say a few words.
Special welcome to all who have come from afar. But I would like to add my appreciation to all those that have extended the Simcha with the most special Ufra Su'udah, and to those who are preparing Sheva Brachot this coming week. The reason I am mentioning this now is because it will be my only opportunity to do so. I'm only allowed one speech for each daughter. Thank goodness. It has been mentioned that my generation has felt cheated when it comes to planning their children's weddings. When they were married, it was their parents who did all the organizing. Now, when it's time for their children's wedding, it's the children that do the organizing. I'm not one of those parents, and I'm quite happy to accept the role reversal. And so, Leora and Michael, I would like to take this opportunity to thank both of you for planning such a lovely wedding. Without your help, none of this would have been possible. I would recommend to all parents whose children are getting married, book the wedding in Israel, stay in England as long as possible. Danny, I would like to thank you for being such a loving and supportive husband. Your optimism and sunny disposition makes life so cheerful. It is usual for the father of the bride to make this opening speech, and I think that I can understand why. The relationship between a father and a daughter is a very special one, and with Leora, this was especially so. He loved you very, very much. Leora, you have always been a joy. As a baby, you were ideal. You slept, you ate, and you hardly ever cried. As you grew older, the house reverberated with your exuberance. Your skills varied from jigsaw puzzles to cooking and to tapestry. You excelled at school, and as you grew up, you played a vital role in the lives of Tammy, David, and Yael. In this week's Sedra Vayechi, Yaakov on his deathbed gives a bracha to each of his sons to end to Menashe and Ephraim. It occurred to me that there was no mention of his daughter Dina. Where was Dina? I asked my son David, who is my unofficial rabbi. I always go to him with these sort of questions which he hates answering. And his reply was simple. Dina was not a tribe and therefore it didn't need mentioning. But this didn't satisfy me. But then David mentioned that in Vayishlach, Dina is also omitted. When Yaakov went to meet Esau, it is written, Im echad asar yiladav. Of course Benjamin was not born. But what about Dina? Here we can ask again, what about Dina? And this time, the Medrash does give us an answer. This time, the Medrash tells us that Dina was locked in a box on Yaakov's instructions because he feared that when Esau saw her, he would want her for his wife. We are told that Yaakov overprotected Dina, and therefore his punishment was Vateitzei Dina. Dina went out and her fate was sealed. We can learn from this story that parents cannot overprotect their children. You, Leora, have come to Israel with my blessing. I miss you more than words can say, but I realize that your home is here. Michael, I know from the time that I've seen you and Leora together that I couldn't have wished for a warmer, more sincere husband for Leora. I've never seen Leora as happy as I have seen her these last few months. I give you both my blessing and my love, and ask Hashem to grant you health and happiness, and a life full of respect, affection, and love for one another.
A song for you.
tune, but if you do know the tune, then please join in the chorus. One, two, three. In 1967, Leora fell from heaven, we weren't even thought of yet. And what a naughty child, she was always wild, her little antics we'll never forget. And she was crazy, we always knew, we feel so bad for Mum, she never knew what to do. Michael, we're warning you, you should be prepared for what you're getting into. And you